The Meriden Housing Authority has brought a new vision, a new direction, a renewed hope for our low-income and moderate-income families in the Meriden community. Contributing to a better quality of life and identity as a community is essential to this new transformation that is happening at Yale Acres. These efforts today will benefit the families and the Meriden community.
We persevered. We got the money, we got the approvals, and Chamberlain Heights became a phenomenal model of what this housing authority, under Neil's leadership and Rob's directorship, has been able to accomplish. And this is another step that they have put us on a phenomenal path of what you can do when you work together and make good things happen. They brought in geothermal. We're having discussions about how geothermal might actually be more of a power source for our entire community if we can work out the details on that. And hopefully we can. This is state of the art. This is our future. And this is another step in the long path of getting affordable, quality housing for those who live in our city.
What you see across the street is truly the future. Not seeing a telephone pole and wires hanging from a roof. Windows that represent a draft of air. It is a complete work that indicates that the future is right here, or energy is right here, and is all in the efforts and the hard work of people that have actually put it together to make this happen. All that the City Council of Meriden, Connecticut, in grateful recognition of services devotedly and faithfully rendered to the city, hereby offer its sincere congratulations to the Meriden Housing Authority in recognition of the completion of the Yale Acres Phase 1 Energy Improvement and Modernization Project, the future of public housing. The citizens of Meriden extend their very best wishes on this memorable occasion and express the hope for continued success. Given this day of October the 20th here at Yale Acres. Congratulations.
In the winter, our tenants couldn't afford to pay the rent because they had to pay for the heat. Their heating bills for these small units were $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 a year, and it's unsustainable on their incomes. We looked for money and we couldn't find it, so we kept putting Band-Aids on these units that really needed major surgery. And along came Rob Capoletti, and with his imagination, we're here today.
We started this project to kind of reinvent how we do business and how we create affordable housing. Mostly because of the residents coming to us and complaining that it's hard to maintain their units. It's difficult to live there. Although it was safe, it was not always the best place to live. Us driving through the property and the property manager, Yvette Nava, explaining that, hey, there's people out there with 6-gallon gas cans filling their oil tanks because they can't afford the $4 per gallon cash-only delivery charges during the winter months. These are things that we needed to address, and to be a responsible housing authority and to take action, we had to address those relatively quickly. Without state funding at the time we started this about 18 months ago, there wasn't anything available for us, so we went to the private market and found ways to do it. Bringing in these energy technologies allowed us to fund these programs on a very shoestring budget, but we pulled it off. I hope today you learn how we did that. You'll see those energy improvements. You'll see the solar PV being generated. You'll see the solar thermal creating our hot water. This property, well, first the model project that we did will create almost as much energy as the residents living there will need in Phase 1. In Phase 2, we expect it to create more energy than the residents need, so some goes back to the grid. And if everything goes as planned, then we get our community center. We'll be creating not only the energy that we need to run everything, but we'll also be creating a community service, a place for people to congregate, an emergency shelter in case of storms. Our hope is that in storms like Sandy and I call them the Halloween storms, every Halloween the kids get postponed because they can't enjoy it because we have some sort of disaster snowstorm or windstorm or rainstorm. So this property, when all the lights are down and people don't have heat and hot water, this property will. That's a major advancement for us. I hope that's a major advancement for many others here.
Was the first one. We've done everything we're doing here. We've done in other cities. We've done solar here, geothermal there. We put some of them together in certain ways. But as Rob said, this is the first place I know of in the whole country, the first public housing I know in the entire country that has put all these fantastic, tried and true, proven energy savings devices and technologies and systems. Put them all in one place. And the fact that it's being provided for people in the community who need it the most has really touched me in a way I didn't expect when I first came here as a businessman trying to sell geothermal, okay? And while I'm of course very passionate about geothermal and the fact we can save 70 or 80% of the heat and cooling needs for a building, what really has gotten me into this on a whole different level is meeting the other housing authorities and realizing that there's a special niche that's not being addressed, because not only, as both Neil and Rob have said, is the conditions of having to pay outrageous heat and cooling bills and electrical bills something that nobody can afford, let alone the people here, people who live in Yale Acres or at the Chamberlain Heights. There's no way that the federal government and the state governments can afford to fix up all these. There's no way that there's not enough money to do this. We have found a particular niche. And that is, especially in areas like this, where they're heating with oil, we can actually raise enough money not just to only pay for the heating systems and the cooling systems and the electrical systems, we can actually contribute toward the actual rehabbing of the infrastructure. So we actually, we only had a goal of $600,000 for the energy portion of this, but we actually raised $1 million, we borrowed $1 million. And to do not just the energy portion, but also the complete rehab of this building here. Now, that means that this model isn't just an energy model. It's about it's about the future of affordable housing in this country. I sincerely believe that, and I wouldn't have even thought that thought 4 or 5 months ago, or 6 or 8 months ago. So for me, it's been a real evolution. We have people here from several housing authorities. I know Hamden is here, East Haven. We have 2 people here from I think you're from the farthest away. So let me introduce that we have Chris from the Westbrook Housing Authority in Westbrook, Maine, near Portland. Because people in this part of the country, besides having to heat with oil, heat with electricity. And that extra amount of money that can be saved can be put into what we call creating community wealth. This side of it is very important to me. Creating community wealth means being able to take care of more than just the energy needs, but using that energy.
And we'll see over the next few months in the winter how much energy we actually save. And come spring, early spring, we hope, the next phase of buildings right behind us here will undergo this same transformation. And with these energy zones we're calling, we'll be able to, every 2 or 3 months, have another set of homes that will be built. In over 2 years, this entire complex will be transformed. And I do have to say, working with Rob is a little bit of a challenge, because you're pushed by visionaries, and Rob is a visionary. And if there's anything that he can see to do better, he says, tell me how to make it better, make me do it better. And I drive subcontractors crazy from time to time, and especially my engineers. It's been a pure love of this project. It's something that we all see is needed and is coming, and I look forward to working on the rest of the project. And again, we're here if you have any questions about Energy Star or building envelopes or anything that we can do to help you. Thank you very much.